Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show, live entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. Good to have you with us today. Hope you guys are in the mood for a great conversation, some live music coming at you, and going to have an opportunity to hear from a terrific singer and songwriter. Also, he's the front man, the lead singer for this great rock group. If you're familiar with them, you know who I'm talking about. If you're not, you'll learn about him tonight. Shy Harry, and we're so excited to have him here. Eric Bolton is in the house. He is coming to us from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. That's right. That's where he makes his home. And he's going to play live for us, as I mentioned, as well. And it's really cool to have him here. Gang, if you would like to comment live in the JMS Lovity chat room here at the Jim Masters Show live, while the show is live, you can absolutely do that. All you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Jim Masters TV. It's real easy to do. How do you do that? You just hit that button there you see on our YouTube channel, subscribe, and that's it. It's easy, it's breezy, and it doesn't cost anything. And you can actually comment live, say hi to everybody else that's commenting live, all the viewers, or our Lovity viewers as they're called from around the world. You can comment. We might even sprinkle some of your comments while the show is live on the screen here as well. We always love to do that. We're very interactive here at JMS Live, and hope you're having a good day. Phenomenal weather day here. Really beautiful here in the Northeast. Fall foliage, that whole sort of New York, New England feel, pumpkin picking and, hay rides, apple cider. We were along the coast today, and we posted some photos on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Jim Masters TV. That's where you can find me on social media. And just really, really fantastic. Absolutely terrific. Hope it's nice wherever you're watching around the world, morning, noon, or night, because we realize people watch our show internationally. So sometimes I'm talking as if it's morning, sometimes it's midday, sometimes it's late night or evening for you guys. Whenever you watch, however you watch, whatever the method is, computer, maybe you watch on cell phone, probably, I would say mobile phone is probably the number one way that people watch our series. Some can actually see it on YouTube on their television screens, laptops, iPads, everything. However you watch, the key thing is that you do join us, and it's always awesome to have you here. We're very cognizant of the fact that you got a lot of choices, a lot of things you could be doing. And the fact that you're joining us here on the Jim Masters Show live series is great. So hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for being here. I'm your host, Jim Masters. We're going to have some fun tonight, some great music, and you're going to have an opportunity to learn about our guest. If you're not familiar with him, if you are, then you know who I'm talking about, because I know we've got fans tuned in as well. Eric Bolton, let me tell you, Canadian singer-songwriter performing as a solo act with an accompanying band, but also the front man of the rock group Shy Harry. And a few of his main influences are John Mayer, Damien Rice, Alicia Keys, U2, as well as Norah Jones and Beck, Great Big Sea, and Tallest Man on the Earth. And Classic Rock magazine described Eric's voice as a sweet spot between Eddie Vedder, Michael Stipe, and Chris Cornell. Isn't that cool? He's been performing for over 13 years all across Ontario, Canada, at various private and public events, restaurants, weddings, community fundraisers too. And his debut solo track, Genesis, Let There Be Love, was called a rock anthem for the ages by Rock and Load magazine, which is really, really cool. After his 2021 release, 4 cover music EPs under the series Rooms, Eric has now recorded his first studio album of original songs. In the fall of 2021, he released The Home Light, and soon after received the title of Classic Rock Magazine's Song of the Week. The Home Light was then recreated in the fall of 2021, a piano version with talented guest vocalist Jesse T, and the full-length album of original music, Here Between, available, also featuring recently released Hello Angels, Grace is Green, The Way, Neon Soul, and Steady My Love. Now, Natalie Caetano of Music Crowns said, Hello Angels is a track that shows the constant duality of life, portraying how the journey of life can be painful, but that pain makes the feeling of joy that much sweeter. He's also the founder of Galt Love, a grassroots movement celebrating his local Cambridge, Ontario community, while promoting cultural growth and supporting nearby small businesses and artists. He also owns the music school and studio, eBolt Music in Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, where he teaches music alongside his team of talented instructors. eBolt Music has built-in recording facility operated and run in partnership with Skytrack Studios. And he's a preferred musician too for weddings and celebrated events as well. And at Walper Hotel, Cambridge Mill, and Tapestry Hall in Cambridge as well. Really cool stuff, and terrific to have him here on the show. As I mentioned, he's going to play live for us as well. And again, if you guys would like to comment, and I see a lot of comments already built up, that is so cool. All you have to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. With all the episodes, we have hundreds and hundreds, gang, that you can binge watch here on our YouTube channel, all just for you. So with all that said, with everything taken care of, hope you guys are doing well. Thanks so much for making us a part of your day or your morning or your night. And let's welcome Eric together to the show, because he's got a lot to share with us, and we're so excited. Eric, welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live, my friend. It's good to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So how are things in Cambridge, Ontario today?
Beautiful.
Nice.
Awesome day. Beautiful sunny day. We got like little bits of the cold weather starting, but today just was none of that. It was awesome sunny, and got it with the dogs. It was good.
That's nice. I love the background you've got there. Is that the home or is that the studio?
This is my home. So it's the studio Wi-Fi is not as great, so I tend to do anything like this from home. So this is my little place right here downtown Cambridge.
Very, very nice. Yes, you got a lot. I'm sure you've got a lot of musicianal equipment all around you.
Oh yeah, especially because of, so you mentioned, I do have a school, so I teach music, and through all of the lockdowns and things like that, we did a lot online. So suddenly making my home studio space really, really strong was really important. So now I've got my little music corner that I didn't have before, and it's been great. So even just learning to do lessons online was all part of just upping the technology and upping the microphones and everything to make it really smooth.
So, when you look back at your career, which has just been blossoming, growing, and congratulations on all the new music and all the cool things that are happening for you, Eric. I know it's been really exciting, and sometimes it gets to be even like a whirlwind because it happens so quickly. How'd you get started? What early on for you? What were those inspirations? And did you pick up an instrument first? Did you start singing first? And was there music playing in the house? Was there any family background that sort of kicked it in gear for you early on as a kid?
Definitely. I have a family that valued music as we were growing up. And so we were all taking music lessons. Like I have 4 siblings, and we all took lessons mostly in piano growing up. And but I don't know what really started it. I've always been a bit of a romantic when it comes to life. So I love, like, when I go out in the forest in the morning, it's very different. Like it's not just being outside in a physical exercise. I just get a lot from it.
You soak up that energy.
Yeah. And I think creating music, when I first picked up a guitar, it was kind of that same kind of magic of what could this do? What could we create? And just sort of tapping into it. So none of my family has pursued music except for me. And, but we do have a musical family, that's for sure.
So early on, what were you listening to? Who were some of the folks that I mentioned some names earlier of people that you've been inspired by, but who are some others that you were listening to that were really, clicking in for you, Eric?
It's funny. It's funny you say that. So I remember being a kid and going to a garage sale and getting a cassette, and it was one of Pearl Jam's albums. And I had no idea. I was just a kid, and I bought this random looking cassette, and I would listen to it, had no clue what I was listening to, didn't realize this was a famous band.
Yeah.
And growing up, like I actually grew up in a very Christian home. So a lot of the music we listened to was Christian music. And I wasn't as inspired by that musically, but it was, for me, when I started playing music, it was just the instrument and the making of music that was exciting to me. But then as I started, telling people I played guitar and was getting into guitar, people would say, well, you must love Jimi Hendrix. You must love all these things like that. And they would mention all these artists that I didn't know because I grew up in the Christian music world. So I didn't know about all these rock artists. And
So
so
you
I had
know
a lot
about Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant and
yeah, knew
CC and BB Winans and all of them. Yeah.
100%, knew
Yeah.
all of
Sandra
them.
Patty.
Yeah, and great musicians, but not necessarily like, they're not the rock artists that you think of when you think of guitar. And I didn't so I knew them, but necessarily wasn't necessarily inspired musically as much as there was always music around. And then when I heard Pearl Jam, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And I was like, I actually know a bunch of these songs. And it was because of that one cassette. And I think I just quickly got inspired. It wasn't necessarily that anyone inspired me to play, but once I started playing, I was quickly inspired by a lot of guys, like a lot of 90s rock guys, a lot of also very more melancholy songwriters like Glen Hansard and Joni
Mm,
Mitchell and so many people. A guy
yeah.
named John Foreman. Yeah.
If we were to come over to the house and check out what's in your, on your iPod or in your stereo system or possibly even in your boom box, and I have one of those, I have all of those. What would be in it now? What music would you be listening to?
I think right now it actually is a Glen Hansard album on the record player. I think that's what's on there right now. It's his Live in Sydney. Right behind that light over there is a record player, and I think it actually is Glen Hansard. You'd find uh, the probably my number one album from 2022 and 2021. I got into the Bleachers. I think they're amazing. Um, who else would Kasabian, love Kasabian. So again, that's more like 90s, early 2000s rock. Who else would I be really listening to a lot? Brandy Carlisle. A bit of a different switch from those acts, but I adore everything Brandy Carlisle is about. You'd catch a lot of classic rock, a lot of old songwriters. You'd get John Prine. Um, yeah, you'd get Alabama Shakes. You get a whole bunch of that. It's all over the place.
It's
You might randomly get Jay-Z too. Who knows?
yeah, very eclectic, which is really cool, huh?
I don't know. It's fun.
It's
Good
nice.
music is good music.
Exactly. How many instruments do you play? Do you play more than guitar?
I do. I play like I grew up playing piano. There's a piano in the corner over there.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
I've never been an amazing piano player, but I love to play it, and I find there's a lot of songwriting that comes from me on a piano. It's just very just feels different from any other instrument. But for I pretty much anything that has strings and frets, then
Yeah.
I probably play it. If it doesn't have frets, I figure it out, but I'm not as smooth. But yeah, anything with strings, I'll be pretty comfy.
How about could you pick up a violin or cello or toy with
I've
those
done it.
too?
I've done it a few times. I've never
Yeah.
spent extended amounts of time on them, but
Yeah.
they I was able to jump in and figure it out because it is once you kind of understand how they work, it's a lot easier to take what you know from one instrument and apply it to the next. And so for me, when I think of a violin, it's really just the first strings of a guitar upside down.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever heard it described that way.
Yeah. So I just think
That's
of a guitar and play a guitar upside down, and I can play violin.
that is cool. That's
It's fun.
fantastic. Yeah, that's fantastic. So, what would you say if you're thinking, you're looking back and you're like, okay, there's some pivotal moments in my life and my career where, if this didn't happen, that wouldn't have happened. If that door didn't open, what would be a few things that really were key pivotal moments for your recognition, for the propelling of your career, where people started really noticing how good you are
Mhm.
and said, let's bring him in, let's promote him, let's work with him?
Oh man, it's a great question. Um, yeah, it's hard to say. I think I've been surprised many, many, many times in a lot of small situations. I'm trying to think of really big ones that were really career changing. But I've said many times, I've often felt like a guitarist who's trying to sing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
started off playing guitar and I've always loved to sing, but was never focusing on that. And then, but there's been many, many checkpoints in my career where, you know, um, someone actually would comment on my voice instead of my guitar playing, and that would be very, very reassuring that things are coming along. When I've been asked to sing on a couple other people's tracks, and when being asked to collaborate was a very, very cool thing. One of the I love my community, my town where I'm from, and I try to be really involved here. And I think when you start getting asked to run things like songwriters workshops, and you start, and it's not that you're a part of the workshops where you're being asked to run them. When you start to realize, oh wait, I guess I have done my time. I guess I really do know what I'm talking about when it comes to these things. And when you start to be asked to mentor other people, where you start to realize, wow, things have shifted. It's not so much that I'm trying to figure this out. It's now I'm being asked to share what I've learned. And I think there's been many moments like that where it's been very reassuring, that where you're suddenly surprised by someone looking to you for advice, where you're like, when did this happen? When did I become the person to talk to about something like this?
That's really cool, isn't it? Amazing when you have an opportunity to teach others, to mentor others. The ones that you do, are they, young kids, or what's the age range, or is it everybody?
All over, all over.
It
And
is.
actually, sometimes the older the student, the more refreshing it is in ways, because I think of myself, and I think like you find like the Justin Biebers of the world who get famous over a one YouTube video, like
God
when
bless him in the background. Yeah.
you were heard. Bless you, they say.
Yeah. Yes, that's
Uh,
right. Yeah.
but yeah, no, you get like the Justin Biebers, the things like that, where they're young when they're very much told you're amazing. And I think though the rest of us grow up thinking music is just for people who are amazing at it, or singing is just for people who are amazing at it. And so I wasn't a singer as a kid. And so stepping into singing was very vulnerable and intimidating. And then, so when I work with someone who's maybe recently retired, maybe they're 55, 60 years old, and have always wanted to learn guitar or have always wanted to be able to sing, I find it really, really awesome to be able to help link those things, because
Mm.
I think a lot of people avoid doing those things because they think that's just for the stars. But
Right.
it's instead, it's a very human thing that everyone should make music, and if it's something you want to do, just do it. So and for me, I've been playing guitar for um 18 years, and
Mm.
so if someone started playing at 50, 18 years, like you're still not even 70. And so like you could start at any age and have so much of your life still to enjoy that. And
Yeah.
I find, so I almost find working with older students to be very, very rewarding.
That's cool. That's a great answer too, because you're never too old or too young to learn anything in life, and we talk about that on the show sometimes. And to be teaching people of all ages is fantastic. And sometimes when you do have somebody that isn't necessarily 21 and they want to learn the guitar or what have you, it may be something they've always wanted to do, but because life got in the way, maybe they have a family that they've raised, their jobs, maybe a lot of travel, just things that have happened. And it's something they've always wanted to do. And you're sort of helping facilitate the dream for them, which is kind of nice, huh?
It's cool. It's pretty cool. Well, it's fun. You kind of get to just say, well, have you thought of it this way? And then see that it all come together. And it's very, very cool.
That's fantastic. Now, how did you come to become the front man for Shy Harry? How did that happen?
So, first of all, you might be hearing a snoring dog
Is
next to my computer. But there's a dog. There's three dogs in this house. And And yeah, one of them is snoring right next to
So the
us.
sneeze came from the human, and the snoring will be coming from the dog.
Yeah,
Just
we're
so
getting a
we're
very real experience here. um, yeah. So Shy Harry, Shy Harry started as a trio. Um, so for years, Shy Harry has been my focus. It was started by me and my wonderful friend Grant, who we even had high school bands together. We've been making music together forever. And yeah, so that's me on the far left and Grant's on the far right. And Grant and I started Shy Harry together with a different drummer who's not in this photo here. And we just, as a trio, we actually formed accidentally. Grant had another band who was supposed to play a gig, and all the other band members had things come up where they couldn't make the gig. So
Yeah,
Grant asked if I would jump in and if Jeremy, the drummer, would jump in and just kind of help him out. And we
yeah,
worked together and realized this is a really great trio and that this came together really well. So we just started performing and writing together, and Shy Harry suddenly became a thing. But then amazingly, the same month we put out our debut album, our drummer wanted to move and switch cities, and so suddenly we were losing our drummer right as we're putting out our debut album.
uh,
So Ryan joined the band, and so it was me, Grant, and Ryan for years, and then eventually, yeah, so Ryan's the one standing at the back. And then eventually we decided we wanted to elevate our sound and bring in a fourth player to play keys. And that's where Cam came in, who's leaning on the arm and bent over laughing. And Cam is such a talent, and actually is a grad from Berkeley College of Music.
a good school
And
in Boston. Yeah,
yeah, he's a talented fella, and he joined the team. And what was fun as well is all of these guys have taught at my music school alongside me. So we would teach music together, then also make music and then perform music and write music and record music.
that's
So
so cool.
it's fun. So we were in our town, we became very much like one of the staple bands to see around.
How'd you come up with the name Shy Harry?
Oh man. Um
You have an uncle named Harry, or
No, we have like, it was so many years ago now, and it was silly, and we started like telling people different answers for why we said Shy Harry,
did you?
because and now the real reason is
Sort of.
obscure thing of mystery. Yeah, so it's a long time ago. But no, it's definitely not tied to anything super significant. I'll say
Just
that. It's
just
not,
sort of,
yeah, it's not a very,
one night we all got together, and it
the
was a
name
long
came out.
night, and when we woke up in the morning, that was the name.
Yeah, and so I'm not creative enough to come up with things on the fly, and Cam will often, when we're doing interviews together, he'll say a different reason in every
Did you say
interview. So,
y
where'd you come up with the name Shy Harry? And Cam will drop a different story. And I'm not quick enough.
that is funny.
Yes, there's probably like a couple dozen different stories as to where the name Shy Harry comes from.
So for people that are, watching, tell us about, how do you describe the Shy Harry sound?
So Shy Harry is definitely a rock band. A ton of 90s rock influence. Yeah, we try to I mean, in Canada there's a band, The Tragically Hip, that I know they never really blew up in the US the way they did here. We took a lot of inspiration from them. Uh yeah, definitely a lot of Pearl Jam influence. Our We have also like our last EP that we put out is definitely more of an upbeat rock one, and there's only 5 songs on the EP, and you could really say, could almost I almost find the first 2 songs are very Aerosmith influenced. The third song I find very almost like Rage Against the Machine, Tom Morello influenced. Uh, and then you get into like even an Arctic Monkeys influence. It's all over the place. But if you had to really single into one thing, I would say it's very 90s rock that just happens to be happening in 2022.
That's really cool. Have you guys gone on tour? Tell us about some of the on location stuff.
We've done a lot of random mini tours around mostly Ontario and the eastern coast of Canada. But yeah, we haven't toured extensively as a band. We've done a lot of things in our local scene, a lot of things around Ontario, Toronto, but no, we haven't toured a whole bunch. So for me as a solo artist, I just put out an album for my solo work, and that work I'm touring a lot more. So that partially because it's a lot easier to tour as a solo artist, and I've been traveling a lot more, so trying to take it coast to coast, just a lot of my own solo material. And I do have a band that backs me up as well for that. But the songs are written in a way where it could be me and my guitar, or you could get the full band experience. So it's been a lot more touring for this.
This is cool. We're showing some of the work here. Yeah. Tell us about this. This is really, and congratulations, Here Between.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I mean, this is a rare opportunity because of the video, but it's actually
is that back there?
Yeah, in that back there, that big painting. It's a big, beautiful oil painting by an artist from Arizona who, so I actually, this is kind of going to answer the question about the album too, but years ago when I was very much in the starving artist time of my life, I saw this piece of art in a gallery, and it was listed at around $4,000. But I was very much, again, starving artist times and sleeping on a piece of foam, no actual bed frame, not eating amazing meals, just like kind of scraping by. And I saw this painting, and
that sounds like a VH1 special.
Honestly,
the life of Eric Bolton in the beginning and the early years. It started with a piece of foam.
A piece of foam on the ground, and it was not glamorous. But I saw this piece of art in a gallery, and it was again like $4,000, and I was not going to be buying it. But I was like, wow, that something about it really hits me. And then about a year and a bit later, I saw it in another gallery locally, and it was knocked down $1,000. And so, no, more than, yeah. So it was just under 4,000. Then it was knocked down. It was just under 3,000 now. And so I told the gallery owner and said, I really, this piece, I actually saw it in another gallery, and it just speaks to me. And they said, well, do you want it? And I said, I can't afford it. I still I was doing a little better than I had been a year before, but still not really great. And so they knocked down the price even more and said, it sounds like you just need to have this piece. So they knocked it down even more, and then let me also pay in monthly installments.
That's cool, huh?
So I could have this piece that just hit me so strongly. So I would have then my bed was this piece of foam on the floor, but then this beautiful $4,000 piece of art. But that's where the priorities were. And
yes, yeah.
I
had to have it.
Yeah. And then the years between that time and now, and just developing myself as an artist and developing as a human, and just knowing who you are and your identity, gaining confidence and authenticity and all those things like that, has been the process over the last 7 or 8 years. And a lot of songs that I'd written in that time that I just never was cataloging, and a lot of growth personally. So I finally decided, I started to gain real perspective as to where I wanted to go. And so the album that I just put out is very much documenting that time. So the album's called Here Between, and it's very much about the chapter of space between where you've been and where you want to go. So you're not there yet. You maybe are starting to gain direction for where you see your life and where you want to see your life, but you're not quite in that space yet. So that's where this is songs from that space, where it's optimistic and looking forward, but it also has its struggle and the burdens of where you've been. So this painting is this beautiful like beacon of where we want to go. And so I used it in the artwork.
I love this. You're going to play live for us too, but we just want to show, as we're narrating over it, the music video for this too, for Hello Angels, which is another. Tell us about this. What was it like putting this together?
This video,
Congratulations on this. Yeah, working on the song and the video.
thank you.
It's
Yes,
cool.
the song I mentioned before, I came from a bit of a church upbringing and religious upbringing, and I learned a lot from that upbringing, which I'm grateful for. But there came with it a strong sense of the classic guilt or doubt in self, and just this sort of like defeated mentality of we're nothing without you know some higher power saving our lives, and um and I think a lot of people get very pushed down by this sense of like defeated self, and that we're a little bit of a hopeless kind of humanity.
Yeah.
And I saw in myself that I was very much a person who self-deprecating, not at all confident in who I am and who I wanted to be. And my identity, and for myself also, I'm a gay man, and growing up in the church and in that way of thinking was not helpful towards me stepping into strength.
Mm.
And so Hello Angels was definitely a song written about kind of calling people who have been told that they're flawed, or they're wrong, or they're messed, and kind of calling them to find their strength. And it's coming from a place of when I found my strength and starting to step into myself that way. And so in the video is a beautiful portrayal of kind of the bigger picture of that,
Yeah.
not necessarily stepping away from my story of religion and sexuality and things like that, stepping away from that and going at the broader picture of just learning to love your life and the gifts that you have and the strengths that are just built into who you are. So the video is this cool portrayal of a kid sort of learning to celebrate himself, and looking around his community and his neighborhood and seeing all these people celebrating what they do in their different ways. And so it's supposed to be a song that inspires people to just live in their truth as strong as and as beautifully as they can.
Their authentic selves. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just add, I'm very grateful. This video was a donation. It was
Was it
given,
really?
yeah, it was given to me. There's a really wonderful man named Andy Harahine, and he runs a film crew that's worked with large acts. Like, he is just coming off a big thing with Buffy St. Marie, and decided to gift a music video to an artist
Wow.
during these times where artists were getting the performance opportunities and things like that. And he chose me and my song and my story. And so he actually came up with the whole concept and got a whole massive crew together and shot this stunning high quality music video that I'm so grateful for.
Isn't that cool? I mean, wow. That was a gift from above on many different levels.
Honestly, and that's where like through and through, it was just like a beautiful story of positivity and people coming together, and like just paired with the messaging of the song and the music video, I think it became really, really uplifting, very motivating.
That is so cool. That is fantastic. The music again itself, you've had a lot of people describe your voice in such an extraordinary way. And your sound is unique, and we're going to hear some of it when you do live. But the album itself, like this one that you're talking about here between, tell us about it. What can people expect with this album?
So, as mentioned before, my other act, Shy Harry, is
Yeah,
definitely a rock act.
right.
This album is different from that. There's rock songs for sure. There's three or four, but it's a 15-song album, and there's more, I guess. Yeah, probably like there's elements of rock throughout the whole album. Um,
How many songs did you start with? Because I know one of the hardest things when you're putting an album together is you have like 25 songs or what have you, and it's the narrowing down because you got to get it all on the one album. The
Yeah.
picking and choosing and selecting is a very difficult process because you got all these songs and then you've got to sort of, do you decide that, or do you have other people working with you helping you decide what should be on the album? It's a
It's been
hard thing narrowing it down, isn't it?
It sure is. Yeah, well, so a lot of my writing before I focused on Shy Harry. And like when we wrote our first two albums, I had a ton of songs and we narrowed it down like that. With this album, because it was my first solo project, there is again an amazing band that joins me on the album. But being the only person spearheading this, being an Eric Bolton album, um, I decided to resurrect some old songs that have always meant so much to me, and just something about them felt like they needed to see the light of day. Um, but I also, it's a funny story. So you mentioned Classic Rock Magazine. So I had, in September 2021, released the song The Home Light, which started to gain a following in the UK and gained the Classic Rock Magazine award and things like that. So that was really cool. And at the time, though, I was planning in October 2021 to record just like a 4 or 5 song EP. And I was just going to do that. It was just going to be some old songs that I'd written that I always thought deserved the light of day. And they never really got there. And then the Home Light thing happened, and this group from the UK reached out to me and said, Eric, this is really cool, but in the UK, we don't really care about EPs. We care about singles or full albums. So suddenly I was in a spot where I said, well, I'm recording an EP. What do I do? And they said, turn that EP into an album, I guess.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so suddenly it turned into a process of, we might need to double how many songs we're recording here. But at that point, I was now on a trajectory in my life where I was really excited about where I was going. So I decided, instead of trying to resurrect more old songs, I'd rather write things about right now where I'm at. So I ended up writing 7 brand new songs for the
Wow.
album in attempt to take the album from an EP to a full length album. So I wrote 7 totally brand new tunes using just music ideas I'd already had, and then tried to write lyrics to those songs. So I chose the music pieces that I kept coming back to. When I would pick up my guitar, what did I feel like playing? And took those and then wrote to them.
That's really cool. I like the fact that, like you said, you were resurrecting or giving more shine to some of the other material that's been there. What inspires you to write? What are some of the things? Are you somebody who, you're always observing life, you're always soaking up everything that's happening? Like you said, when you go to nature, you don't just walk through the woods and the forest, but you're really soaking it in. I'm the same way on so many different levels, and including for me, because we're here along the coast. I mentioned it many times. The ocean for me
Yeah.
is a very big influence because we're always in it, on it, swimming, floating, surfing, sailing, whatever it is. And when I'm near the water and near the ocean, boom, I'm very plugged in. How about you? What are some of the things about life that inspire you to write this great material?
Oh, for sure, all of the above, what you just said. But I would say community is a big one. I've really um, I've really cherished my community and being involved here. Um, and I've definitely seen the way we grow because of each other and how much we're influenced by each other. And I think of even my process of songwriting. So much of my songwriting, um, I might come up with a song idea and then I'll perform it at some random local show. Like, let's say I'm just playing in a restaurant locally or something like that. I'll I'll perform it, and I'll use that opportunity of performing to sort of refine the song. It's kind of like story, and I've said this many times, it's kind of like storytelling, where in your head, you know how the story went, you were there, but when you start telling it to someone, you start realizing, wait, I missed a detail that I should have said earlier. And you learn to refine how you tell your story. And I find that comes from me when I write a song. Every time I perform it, I have the opportunity to find a better way to say it and to sort of share it. And then from that refinement, take it to the studio and record it. And so I find that same thing happens with people and with life. Like we we learn from our experiences together, and we're grown or refined by our experiences together. Um and really, the more that people share of themselves, the more they learn to better themselves. And so I think a lot of my songwriting is inspired by that idea, and sort of chasing down how we kind of grow together by sharing our lives with each other.
That's beautifully said. That's a good way to approach music, because music is a universal language. It could be very healing. It can be very comforting, as much as it can be exhilarating and entertaining and get us dancing with the rhythms and beats. Is it a mix as far as what comes first for you? Do you sometimes have the lyric come first, then the melody, or does sometimes you just hear this fantastic melody in your head and then have the lyrics follow the melody? How does it work for you, or is it either or sometimes?
It's always been either or. Like, my phone is flooded with
Yeah.
notes of random lyrics, and then also voice memos of random song ideas. Um, every once in a while, those two things collide, where you come up with a lyric at the same time as you hear the melody. Um, I would say, though, for the past good while, like maybe the past year, I find the music always comes first. I I'll have times where I sit down and write random lyrics out, even if I'm just like waiting in line somewhere and something comes to mind, and I quickly
Yeah.
just write it out. But none of those things have I come back to. I find late for the last while, everything has been music first, then writing. So I've even written songs where, like, I know I'm really enjoying the musical piece, so I'll record the musical piece and then just spend the next while listening to it and writing to that. So for a while now, music first, but it's always been very 50-50. I think I don't know why. I think I'm just in a chapter where it's the music that's like inspiring everything else.
We had Melissa Manchester on the show, and I asked her that question as far as what inspires you with all these epic songs, Don't Cry Out Loud, and all these epic songs that she's been, You Should Hear How He Talks About You, all those songs. And I said, what inspires you with those songs? And she said, well, sometimes I can be inspired at moments that are just sort of fleeting, meaning she could be walking across one room to the next in her house, and all of a sudden there'll be some sort of an inspirational moment that'll happen, and she will run right to her piano. There's a recorder next to the piano. She hits record and she starts playing out whatever is flowing through her. It might not even make any sense at the moment, but she's playing out whatever this inspiration is happening for her. And she makes sure she records that so she can
Mhm.
go back to it later and sort of put it together and make sense of it, and she saves it and works it out immediately as it's happening, because she said, if there's any distance between the inspirational moment and any other things that go on in life, it can sort of weaken and dissipate, and not the memory of it might not be there. It's kind of cool to do it. It sounds like you do that too. As you are getting inspired, you're going right to, save it and work it out.
I love that. I very much resonate with that. Um because, like, these random beautiful things come out of nowhere, like where suddenly you hear an idea, or you could be walking and having a conversation with someone, and someone says something and you're like, wait, that's an interesting concept. And then you start to like sink into it and just need a minute and need to just quickly jot something down because you've got it stuck in your head. Um, I've had so many times, like I have songs that I've recorded and have been around for years that were started because of tuning a guitar. Um, I teach music, and there's been so many times where a student hands me their guitar to help them tune it, and their guitar is unique. It feels different from my guitar. And so naturally, my fingers react to it differently. And so there's been so many times where I'm just helping a student tune and my fingers respond to their guitar differently than they respond to my guitar. And I think, oh, this is cool. Actually, just a sec. And then I get my phone out and before giving them the guitar back, I quickly record just like a little something that just sounds cool that I don't know if I would have come up with if I wasn't put in the situation of just holding that different instrument.
Isn't it amazing? You could just pick up the guitar and sometimes your finger hits the chord, boing. Oh, I think I just started a song.
Yeah. And I think that's really what it's all about, is just the curiosity of it. Like, I don't think you have to be any sort of genius to come up with a song. I think though, chasing that, like, having something trigger your interest where you feel like diving down that rabbit hole is I think what it's all about.
It really is. What's your day like? I mean, are you constantly writing? Are you constantly creating? Or do you have moments where you can pause and sort of refresh, reboot, disconnect from it and do some other things and then come back at it fresh? Are you able to do that? Or is your mind always thinking and you're hearing things and you're always creating constantly?
No, I'm very much like, I could see myself. Well, one of the things is I keep myself way too busy, and so I'll do so much and not really give myself enough downtime to just sink into things.
I know how
But
that is.
yeah, right. Um, but no, I would say I go through phases where I could sit down and try and write something every day. But so often it seems to me like I'll play music every day and I'll have my guitar in my hands every day.
Yeah.
But it seems like it goes through chapters where, like, I go through like a big wave of creativity and come up with a bunch of ideas and then maybe don't write anything for another month or two. And it's also interesting, like, the amount of things that you like see through versus little ideas. Like, there's tons of little ideas that come about all the time, but really sitting down and fleshing it out into a full song um is something that I find I really tap in and out of. I do a lot of things part way, and then I find, like, to dig in and really really complete a song. Um, I go through, it's like seasons of that. Yeah,
So you'll sometimes you'll pause it and then you'll come back to it with a refreshed approach. Maybe you'll pick it up where it was left off, and then maybe that time away from it adds something extra. And maybe you see different nuances with the song that you didn't see if you were still sticking with it. You walk away and then come back a little bit. Gives you a fresh perspective as you approach the material, right?
100%. Yeah, it really does. And a lot of the times there's like, I've told even a bunch of students that if you ever reach that kind of writer's block or that roadblock, maybe just leave it and come back to it. Even in an hour, you might find suddenly you feel differently about it. It's kind of cool. Sometimes you just need to give it that little bit of space and just sort of get it out of your head.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You'll walk away and then come back and you'll have a fresh perspective. Exactly. How about this one too? Grace is Green. Tell us about this.
So that's one of the few ones that was going to be on the EP that is an older one.
Yeah.
I wrote this song during a time of burnout for sure.
Mm,
And I was trying to run two businesses. I was performing a ton. Um, I was trying to start a grassroots community movement. And, like, I was doing so much and felt immensely tired by it. Um, but I felt like, um, and this is partially like it really is my fault for how much I try to take on. but at the time I felt like no matter what, I couldn't quite please anyone. Like, uh, you know, this business over here was requiring more of my attention, and it wasn't going to do better until it got more of my attention. And then this community project had great intention, but it wasn't going to get off the ground without more of my energy and more of my attention. And so it was a lot of things feeling like they weren't quite working out, but there was a lot of beautiful intention. And so I wrote the song from a space of just nothing I do ever quite being good enough. But then it was a day of we talked about it already. I went out into a forest. I had my dog with me. He's running around having the time of his life, and it just like that whole song just came flooding out of me because in one moment because of how I felt. Just like this sense of calm, like I hadn't let myself breathe for a good
Right.
long bit of time. And so I started to realize, man, like when I'm out here in the forest, everything's fine. Like
Right, right. Isn't
everything's
it
okay.
amazing how that is?
Yeah. And so I wrote Grace is Green being that like sometimes you just need to give yourself a break and let nature give you a break. And so the song is very much a simple song when it comes down to its concept. It's but yeah, I wrote that song a while ago in that time of burnout, and I really love the way it came together as a full band on the album. It's one of those champion songs on the album in my mind. It's got a powerful drive to it that I that I really don't think it was ever really meant to have. It was an acoustic song, me and my guitar, just a little peaceful song. And then hearing it though with all the instrumentation now, I'm so proud of it.
Congratulations, huh?
Thank you.
You're prolific at this and you're loving it and you're passionate about it, and it's music is very connecting too. And the feedback that you get from the fans, the consumers of the music, but also the industry itself, that must feel pretty cool too. The response they have to the music.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's very, very rewarding. And it's funny, like I mean, the music industry is a weird place. I actually got a chance to write for the Elephant Journal recently and do an essay for them.
That's very
It's
cool, huh?
it was sweet. It was I love doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love writing, and uh, it's funny. Like so much of the music industry, you're putting yourself out there and putting your song out there, and you don't really have many faces to go with it. Like you'll have like if you post a video on YouTube, you see thumbs up, thumbs down. You don't necessarily see a face. When you want to submit your song to a Spotify playlist, you don't know who's running those playlists. You have no faces or names to go with it. But
Changed so
here you are.
much.
Yeah, you're hoping that they like you. And you'll randomly get feedback from people who again, you don't even know if their name or a face for their name, but you're getting criticism based on your track and whether or not it's worthy of being on their playlist or something like that. And it's a weird feeling. The 2022 music industry is a lot of empty, like blank faces where you don't ever get that relationship build
It's like
where
clicks and algorithms and all this stuff, right?
and it's very, very daunting, and it's also can be very disheartening because it's not the human relationship we all long
Yeah,
for.
right.
And
Yeah.
so when you do get those moments where someone's saying like they're at your show and they're just in it and loving it, and then they say like this has been a great night, like that really is it's one of those things where you almost forget how much you need that kind of encouragement. And when it comes, you just kind of it's hard to even accept it because it's very, very, very motivating. But so much of the day is spent not focused on those things. So it's nice. It's really, really, really appreciated whenever someone shares those kind of sentiments.
Which is cool, right? Because again, like you say, the music industry has changed so much in the recent years on so many different levels. How you promote it, how you market it, how you get it out to the masses, how you distribute it. It's a totally different thing. We had Voices of Classic Soul on last night. Fabulous guys, Joe Coleman, Joe Blunt, and Theo Peoples, and they were with some of the legendary groups. They've formed their group now, Voices of Classic Soul, but they were with the Platters, the Drifters, the Temptations,
Mm,
some of the originals, and they were talking about how the music industry has changed and how, there would be, they'd have a song, but you'd have to wait a certain amount of days for there to be a launch date and a lead date and all these different things. And now with technology, the internet and Spotify and everything else, you can actually have something. What was one of the guys saying? You could write something in your bedroom tonight and upload it tomorrow morning.
yeah,
It's interesting how that is, but then you sort of throw it up out there and you see where it lands.
yeah.
And it sounds like you have some old school sensibilities where you do really like the feed off the energy of people and the connection, the human condition. You really crave, being amongst people. And I'm exactly the same way. That's why I know I can hear it coming from you that matters. Like all the algorithms and all the other things in the world that exist are good and whatever, but it doesn't match that individual connection with somebody, right? And sharing in the art of, in this case, the music.
Mm. I completely, yes, 100%. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like, music is one of these really cool things that we get to do as humans. And I think it's one of those weird things that we get to tap into that's sort of, again, the album's called Here Between, like that the little piece of something that doesn't quite feel like it belongs on earth, but it's not quite heaven. It's like this music feels very much like tapping into some sort of really cool wavelength that's not our everyday. And so when you meet people at a concert or something like that, and you all
Yeah.
just tap into that together. Doesn't matter if you're making the music or if you're enjoying it or experiencing the music, but when you tap into that together, it's really what it's all about. And for me, I obviously am grateful to have a career in music, and I want to keep growing my career in music. But it's the moments of real human interaction that ultimately fuel the
Yeah.
why,
Yeah.
and the why do you do what you do. And I think that if you can grow your audience while maintaining that human interaction, I think then you're the richest person alive. I think that's the way to go.
I'm exactly that way. That's how I think. And it's sometimes it's like a tightrope, or it's a real balance sometimes in maintaining all of that. But if you can master it, no pun intended, or maybe pun intended with master is my last name.
There
If
you
you
go.
can, if you can master it, it's a cool thing. It really is a cool thing. And, so you've got it down. You know what it's about, and it's something that is flowing in and out of you. You're sort of the conduit of all this great energy. And how does you, again, you have the faith background, which is a beautiful thing from the early years. How does any of that in any way contribute to this? Some of that, I imagine, also lends itself to the understanding of people that are hurting, caring, empathy, kindness, love, having some of that background early on, maybe instilled. Does that, do you call upon any of that as well in your art?
Oh, that's a great question. I Yeah, I would say so. I think for me, my definition of what the spiritual looks like has probably changed significantly over the years.
Sure, absolutely.
Um, and but no, there's numerous things like two quick points. One, I think something I'm really, really, really glad about a faith upbringing is sort of the sense of gratitude. And you don't have to tap into gratitude when you're growing up in a faith-based thing, but you're definitely taught to. And you're taught to be grateful for, even you say grace before your meal. Like, you're just taught to be grateful for the things you have. And I do think that's a really beautiful takeaway in the sense of like a bigger picture gratitude. I think living in that kind of gratitude as you go about your day is what's going to make you notice those little bits of magic in the day. It's going to be, if you're not living in a sense of gratitude, regardless of, that doesn't have to be to a specific entity, but living in that gratitude, I think has been what makes me cherish those moments where you're like, wow, this is really special. When you start to realize either the connection you're having with nature or with another person. And I think that's something that is strongly inspired by a faith background. It doesn't, again, it's changed over the years, but so I think I wouldn't make music probably with the same sort of um drive if it wasn't for also chasing those magic moments of gratitude. So that's thing one. The thing two, I would say, is um, my experience in life being, again, like, from my situation, I was coming from a conservative upbringing and the faith upbringing, but as a gay guy, and that's not really a welcome thing. Those things don't go together. But what that did do was inspire a lot of prayer, really. And so I had a lot of times where I felt very lonely, and um didn't feel I could talk to other people about where I was or who I was and what I was going through. And so instead it turned into this very rich, what some would call a prayer life, in that, while feeling like I didn't really have a lot of people to talk to, I would instead talk to a higher power. And I think that really inspired poetry. It inspired songwriting. It inspired this sense of like, how could I relay? Like, I have things I want to say. I have no one to talk to. So I'm going to put it on this piece of paper. And so I think a lot of songwriting came from that place of that faith world. And so I'm grateful for that. There's a song I wrote that I actually today have been finalizing the music video for. I've been editing it, but there's a song I wrote. It definitely was a prayer. The
Mm.
song, it was written as a prayer. I was totally saying those words to God of sorts. And then as I grew and I looked at it, it wasn't that I needed anything from God. It was that I was calling it out of myself. I was calling myself to be something bigger. And so I just didn't realize it at the time, but it's a song called You, and it's on the album. Um, and I wrote it at first out of a sense of like calling out to God and from this faith background. But what I was really doing, and I see it now, is I was calling out to the person I want to be.
Mm. Mm.
And I think it was a very, it's a different shift, but I think at the time it was a prayer and desperation. That now it's an eye-opening, hey, like, you this is your this is who you are and your opportunity to step forward. So I think in those two ways, I think I'm really grateful for the faith upbringing and how it's still alive now in those ways.
That is so cool. So cool. So you are pulling from things that you observe in life, but you're also pulling elements of yourself and your own life's journey as you're being inspired, as you're growing, as you're experiencing, as you're tasting life. And elements of that are in the music, which is really cool. And what's also great is oftentimes when people write like that, they may be sort of telling their story in a certain way, whether it's direct or maybe semi-direct, other people can relate to it as much as they might like the rhythm and the beats and percussion and everything else that goes with the music itself. The meaning of the song can really hit here for people and they can relate to it. And I'm sure with some of the material, you've probably hadn't heard that from people where there might be a song or so where they're like, I thought you were describing me. They may say that too, because they can resonate with what you're projecting in the songs and in the music, right?
That's it. Well, that's a hope. Like,
Yeah.
because I think I'm trying to remember who said it. Um, but it's really that, like, really art isn't about showing off the artist. It's about showing off life. And I think it's so cool when people attach their own reasons, their own stories. And like I do so many gigs where I'm just playing cover songs and other
Right.
people's songs.
Other people's material, right?
Right, but I don't play a song. Well, generally don't play any songs that I don't personally feel attached to. And I didn't write those songs, but I've got my own reasoning and my own story that I'm thinking of as I sing those songs. So I so love that. And I think it's like I would, and I will Dave Grohl, like he said something like when the Foo Fighters played Wembley, like it was amazing that he could sing a song for his reason and have the song sung back to him by the 80,000 people there for
Yeah.
80,000 different reasons. And
Incredible.
I think that's so cool and such a powerful thing that art can do.
Yeah, it really, really is. When you hear it coming back at you like that from people in 80,000 different ways and different stories, it's extraordinary. Great conversation we're having here. Gang, you're watching the Jim Masters Show live. And this is a fantastic conversation. Special guest singer, songwriter Eric Bolton coming to us live and direct from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. Also the front man and founder of Shy Harry. And great to have him here. He is openly sharing his life experience, his music. If you're enjoying this, like, comment, and subscribe. They should all subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, shouldn't they, Eric? Takes a village.
Oh, absolutely.
That's it. Comment, like, subscribe, share. Speaking of sharing, you want to share some music with us, right? While you're there, which I think is
Sure.
great. And we really appreciate you doing that. The audience and I also love when the guests have a moment or two to do that. Um, tell us about the beautiful instrument you have there in your hands.
Sure. Okay. Well, this there's so I'm from again Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, and about 20 minutes from here is the town I actually grew up in, Guelph, Ontario. And um story, oh, there's a pick in here. Pick in here rattling around. I I was pursuing I went for an audition at a music school and it was such a stressful audition. And so as I was rolling back into town, I thought I can't go home and talk to people just yet. And instead, I went into a music store and I played every acoustic guitar they had in the store just as a way of unwinding. And this was one of the guitars in there. And uh, later on, I went home and I was like, yeah, I need that guitar. And I went back to the store and it was gone. And so I chatted with the owners of the store and I said, there was a guitar here that was so cool and so unique and it's not here. And did it sell? And they said, no, it didn't sell. The guy who made it is from here and he just took it out of the store. So
Wow.
they gave me his number and I called him up and he still had it. So I bought it from him. And since
And did you
then,
use the same approach that you did to get that painting on the wall?
no, he
You
charged
didn't
me.
have to work as hard.
I didn't have, yeah, no, it was so funny. And he was great. And then it started a long relationship together. I've done promo videos for his guitars with songs and we've
That's
designed two
cool.
other guitars together. So,
Wow.
this was a parlor sized little mini guitar that I helped design and he built. And then over here is an electric guitar that we designed together. So this is my baby. And there's only one other guitar in the world with this shape, and it's the one he built for himself after.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Have you
So
guys ever thought of creating like a guitar line at all? Have you talked about doing that?
so the electric
Bolton's
guitar,
Beauties?
yeah, the electric guitar, he's talked about making a series of them with that shape, and they're all
That's
this like,
cool.
so the serial number is EB for Eric Bolton.
001 or
Like
oh oh 2?
002. Yeah, exactly. So it's so fun. So he's talked
Beautiful
about
guitar.
doing more of that one for sure.
Wow, that's cool. Good stuff, huh? Shoosh. So, what are you gonna play for us now, my friend?
Let's see. Um, I think
What are you
uh
feeling right now?
um I'll do a song called Steady My Love. I was torn. There were two songs that came to mind. I was like, which one of these two should I do? Um, uh, this one's called Steady My Love. And it's very much the reason I want to do it is because of our conversation. I find um, so much of like, again, the album is very that here between where you want to, from where you've been to where you want to go, and you're in that space between. Steady My Love is just a song where you sort of get to get a glimpse of that full picture, and you start to realize that you really do have everything you need, and it it's really all there and just maybe needs to come to maturity still. So there's a line in the chorus that steady my love, it's all right here, and we're not full grown. So it's just gives that space to it. Also, I'm loving the comments of there's some really, really fun comments. And hi,
Yeah,
everyone.
the Lovities, the Jim Master Show Lovities are saying hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
everybody.
lots of hellos.
Colleen says she hears the spiritual element in the songs. She was
Mm.
checking out some of the music earlier, which I think is really, really cool. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Colleen.
Yeah, they've all been commenting, which I think is fantastic. Nice
Oh,
stuff.
and it sounds like someone's close by. Dana. Dana sounds like she's nearby.
Dana, yeah, nearby. Yeah. I think what did he say? Down the road. Yeah. Yeah, down the road. Leslie, who's watching.
Yeah.
I love Steady My Love.
Well, I love Leslie. I know Leslie well. um,
Welcome. She's now a Lovity. We've already said that
Lovely.
you're a Lovity on the Jim Masters Show live. And Lovity came for the new viewers because I said the show has a lot of light, love, and levity. And I said it 2.5 years ago, almost 900 episodes ago. And I talked a little too fast, ever the New Yorker, got all those words out. And instead of saying light, love, levity, I said Lovity. And I combined love and levity. And everybody just went wild, and they're like, okay, you're Mr. Lovity. This is Lovity Hall. We're your Lovity squad. The guests are part of the Lovity family. So you've already been designated, and Leslie is, and everybody a Lovity. And what's cool about that, you could get Grammys, Emmys, Tonys, you could get Tellys, you can get Peabodys, Oscars, Academy Awards. But when you get a Lovity on the Jim Master Show live, every guest says when they get that their feet start tingling. Are your feet tingling right now, Eric?
They're definitely tingling.
One of our guests said he started levitating when he heard he was a Lovity.
That's amazing.
Whatever it takes. So let's hear you do your thing, and we appreciate your providing some music with us here on the show.
My pleasure.
All right. Oh, Colleen goes, add Lovity in the Urban Dictionary. We shall do that.
Oh yeah, honestly, you should.
Yes, Merlin is watching from Ontario. It's her birthday as well. She's right there in Ontario. She's in Innerkip.
Oh no way, we're not far from each other.
Not far as well, right?
Wow.
Yeah, one big happy family. Happy birthday to her as well. Exactly. Cool stuff. All right, my friend, the floor is yours.
Sure. Well, this is one of the more, thank you. This is one of the more laid back tunes on the album. Again, this album has a lot of elements of rock. It has some more like folk soul elements to it. This one gets into your more laid back almost blues way of playing.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a song about how I've said before, it's how love has a way of calling us to grow, but also calling us to just be still and take it in and let it do its thing. So that's where this song's coming from. What about love could take the world by storm? And what about love cares for nothing else? What about love is a shelter and a door? And what about love helps me see myself? Steady, my love, when all is quiet, dear. Steady, my love, oh, we're not full grown, no, no. Steady, my love, it's all been right here. And soon enough, you will know. What about love sets my soul on fire? And what about love helps me dream again? What about love quiets my every desire? And what about love is my journey's end? Steady, my love, when all is quiet, dear. Steady, my love, we're not full grown, no, no. Steady, my love, it's all been right here. And soon enough, you will know. And you don't have to let me know. The road I walk is mine alone. I see darkness turn to gold. I see heaven in my lifetime. I see heaven in this life. I see heaven in my lifetime. I see heaven in this life. I see heaven, no.
That is awesome. That is really awesome. That's a great song. Really
Thank
a
you
great
so
song.
much. Thanks.
It's
You got to
got
hear the full band version.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the acoustic unplugged version on JMS Live, but really, really fantastic. Colleen's actually says I can hear biblical references directly from the Bible. It is living and powerful. She's
Hey,
getting those
thank you,
vibes.
Colleen. You'll hear a lot of random references like that through my music.
Dana, he says, this is so awesome. I love that. And Colleen, really nice song. Thank you. And Kathleen
Thank
in
you
New
all.
York City, one of our regular lovelies, saying wonderful. Christine Clifton in North Carolina, nice job. This is a song you can really feel.
Thank you all.
Absolutely. Merlin right there in Innerkip, Ontario, Canada. Beautiful song, great singer. Thanks with the hearts and the
Oh,
claps and
my word.
lots of emojis. This is what it's like on the Jim Master Show Live. If you're ever down or you need a lift, just pop on our
Yeah,
show and
I'm I'm feeling the love from the lovedies. My
uh,
goodness.
I gotta tell you. Did you
Thank
want to?
you.
Is there anything else you want to do while you're there with the guitar? Did you want to do another one?
Sure, sure. I'll do one more.
Yeah,
I'll do the other song that I was kind of torn on. So,
yeah.
um, there's again 15 songs on the album.
This is really
Um,
cool.
because of the moment and how we are here, I figure I'll do a couple chill ones, but I'll actually do the bonus track on the album.
The bonus track.
The
Wow.
bonus track.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones I feel like whenever I'm talking about the album, it's a very cathartic experience being able to
Isn't it?
talk about, yeah, like the after the fact. You're no longer in the trenches making this thing happen, but you can kind of look back and just process it differently. So this song, like every time we talk about it, I feel like it's that I feel very enriched from it. So thank you for the chat.
Ah,
And
our pleasure.
I appreciate it and very much. And this song I wrote kind of as the song looking back on the album after creating it. So it's a bit of a simple tune. It's meant to be simple. It was so the whole album was done live off the floor with an amazing band. But this is the one song on the album that's just me and my acoustic guitar. And it was just a way of kind of like closing it off in a very just human, me and my guitar sort of way of saying, after talking about all of these heavy things and after
Yeah.
addressing all of these topics throughout the album, like this just brings it back to just the simplicity of life and maybe not overcomplicating things and just celebrating who you are and where you're at and not thinking too much heavier on it.
Considering what we've all been through the last 3 years with the pandemic and everything and the economy and just all of the craziness of life, how beautiful the timing of this coming out, because we really need more positive material like this that makes you think about life, stop, breathe, and sort of reconnect with the world around us and with ourselves. So keen timing, because the world needs this, Eric.
Hey, well, I hope it's a boost for people. I needed it. So hey.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the floor is yours, my friend, here on the Jim Master Show Live. More of the incredible Eric Bolton right here for you guys. And guess what? You got an exclusive. He's given us not just anything, he's given us the bonus track.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's one that I wrote it casually, but it's become like one of the songs I feel like playing most on the album.
That's
So it's
it.
funny how that is.
That's it. All right. Here's Eric Bolton.
Thank you. It's hard to take my story and lay it out in song, rhyming out the years while my heart just beats along. Learning how to sing, it's been a lesson in love, with kindness for the road, from where I've been to where I'll go. Sometimes the tenser moments can be tough to navigate. Emotions run so high and it's so hard to see things straight. Learning how to sing has been a lesson in grace, and one I hope to hold forevermore, evermore. And I'm faced to face with the life I've made. Through the songs I feel free to take it all less seriously. The story isn't hard to write when you love along the way. Just try to make it rhyme when you sing. I could curse my weary mind for reading too much into things, fighting for perfection when I should simply let them be. So learning how to sing has been learning to breathe, and what will be, will be. So let it be, let it be. Yeah, I'm face to face with the life I've made. Through the songs I feel free to take it all as seriously. A story isn't hard to write when you love along the way. Just try to make it rhyme when you sing. Yeah, I'm face to face with the life I've made. Through the songs I feel free to take it all as seriously. A story isn't hard to write when you love along the way. Just try to make it rhyme when you sing.
Really, really nice, my friend. That
Hey,
is a
thank you.
fantastic song. And I love the way you just sort of, you immerse yourself in it. You sort of get swept up and swept away as you're performing, and you can see it on your face. It's
Ah,
really fantastic. And
thank
it was really interesting because as I was listening to the song and just listening to the voice, that particular song, I also heard elements of a legendary singer, Jim Croce, uh,
Oh,
and a little Harry Chapin. I've heard some of that weaved in. Even the vocal textures sounded a little like the legendary Jim Croce. I have to say I love you in a song and all these great hits. I
yeah.
heard some of that in this stylized way that you presented that, which was really cool.
Oh, that's very cool to hear. I definitely love all those older songwriters who have kind of paved the way for a lot of other people. Um, I'm also a big Cat Stevens fan,
Another
so
one. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of that.
Yeah, that kind of music is just it sort of makes you feel like everything's going to be all right if it's not.
Yeah,
It reminds you of and he was at Dana, he was hearing a bit of American David Wilcox in
yeah.
that
There we
a little
go.
bit too. Yeah, a couple of different things
Um,
that were happening. People hearing a lot of different things that they connect with and resonate with, who I think is so absolutely cool. This
oh,
album, I tell you, it's on what, Spotify, iTunes. You can probably get it everywhere.
it's all over the place. Yeah,
It's
you
all
can
over the place here
all over the
between.
place. You almost can't turn without seeing it.
Right, right, right.
No, it's been cool. It's been cool. So yeah, it's pretty much available anywhere. Or if people don't use any of the streaming, it's also on my website. Yeah, which is just ericbolton.ca.
Merlin goes, did you say that you had a dog? Show me.
Oh my word! There's three. There's three
There's
dogs
three?
and two
You have
cats.
three? What are their
Yeah.
names?
So we have the old man Gilbert, who's been my my comrade through a whole bunch of life. Um, he yeah, he's definitely asleep. And then he has a younger brother now, Buckley, who's been with me for 5 years. Buckley's a coonhound Doberman. And then there's Ike, who so my man, my boyfriend. I always find boyfriend funny when you're talking about a full-grown adult. But
When you think full grown adult, right? You think of
yeah,
more of like a
I say my man, but
14-year-old or 17-year-old or something, right?
yeah, I know, right? I feel like I'm in high school. So but
Better half or partner or right, yeah.
yeah, partner seems so cold, but then
I know it
I don't
does.
know. So I say my man, my man. But he has a dog as well, and so named Ike, and Ike is like a mastiff cross. So there's three big boys.
Mike is, yeah. I mean, Ike, that's a cool name, huh?
Yeah, he's
Ike.
a pretty cool dog. He's the one that you probably can hear snoring this whole time. He's very close by and yeah, snoring away.
There's the website too, ericbolton.ca, gang, not com, but CA, that's for Canada. And, you mentioned a lot the area where you are and
Mm.
community and the sense of community. And we always talk about community a lot here on the show. Describe the area. What is it about the area where you are that you revere and love so much for those who haven't been there yet?
So, my specific, so the city of Cambridge is actually three old towns that connected. So it's actually Galt, Hespeler, and Preston. So I specifically live in Galt. Um, and back in the 70s, the three towns amalgamated to become Cambridge and just be one. So my there's the old dog. That's the old dog. But my part, so Galt, is like a very historic town. It's one of the older towns of Ontario, and
Yeah.
it has a really rich history.
And you
And it's
created
right on,
Galt Love, right? You created
yeah,
that
so
whole
it's
grassroots movement.
that's it. It's so it's this beautiful, picturesque, historic town right on the river. But the reason I started Galt Love and was because like when you're in Galt, like it feels like a small town and everyone gets to know you, and it's a very very much a wave to your neighbor kind of town. Everyone, everywhere you go, you run into someone, and people are very friendly, and people seem to love this community and where and it wasn't represented super well when it came to a lot of the areas. Like a lot of the places, they would look at like big like economic development areas and be like, these are like the champion spots, and even though
Like
this beautiful,
Toronto and other big, yeah.
yeah, and then this little beautiful historic town with this rich community was kind of just being cast by the wayside. And so that's why I started Galt Love, to be just a way of like showing off like the rich community that's here, and showing off the beautiful area we live in. And because of that, like now like there's been like tourist accounts from Toronto being like, have you seen the little picturesque town of Galt? And like, come this visit Galt, like go, have you gone through? And so it's been cool to see a bit of a shift in the focus to not just be from people who live here, but people traveling to check out the space. So
That's cool. That's right. So you could say to people, you've got some gall not to visit Galt.
that's right. That's right.
That sounds cool. They must, the Chamber of Commerce and all, unless you are the Chamber of Commerce, they must love the fact that here you are, a known singer-songwriter and performer in love with the area and wanting to propel it. That is cool. Um, I'm surprised they haven't commissioned you yet, or if you already haven't, written a song about
Song for
the area or for the area. That's probably in your wheelhouse already, isn't it?
maybe that's coming up. I don't know.
Right.
That's funny. That would be not a bad idea.
Right? Oh, somebody's climbing up behind you on,
Yeah,
is it
there's
the
also
piano?
two cats. There's also two cats. What could I say? There's so many animals.
Now that cat's black, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, on the eve of Halloween, a black cat comes up on, that's the piano there?
That's right. And
The
she's
black
a
cat at the eve of Halloween comes up, perfectly timed. You arranged that on Halloween Eve perfectly.
oh, she's she's a sweetie. She's named Joplin after Janis Joplin. But yeah, she's such a sweet little kitty.
That is
So
so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. One happy family there, right? That's
Very,
right, in
very,
Cambridge. That is fantastic. We love this. Good stuff, and everybody's, oh, yeah, she loves, Jane's watching in Sweden, loves this and the great lyrics, and Leslie says, "I call him Mr. Cambridge." So I'm Mr. Lovety, and you're Mr. Cambridge.
There we go. Look at this. Go team.
Dana, he says he grew up, or at least was raised
Oh,
in Owen Sound.
right on.
Merlin used to go, boat racing on the Grand.
That's awesome. There we go.
Dana goes, "Jim Masters crossing the border, a whole new segment."
Yeah,
You
there we
got it.
go. Have you
Kathleen,
had many
all
Canadians on
kidding.
the show?
Yes, we've had quite a few that have come through, which is one also that I interviewed on PBS. Matt Dusk. I don't know if you know the singer Matt Dusk. He's more into the jazz side of things. He
Okay.
was on recently, and he was terrific too. Yeah, we've had. I was listening even to that last song, and I heard elements of. It almost sounded like something that could also have been penned in Ireland. It has a sort of
Oh.
an Irish folk feel to
Oh.
it a little bit, you know?
Well, I mean, that's my roots.
Yes.
I have a lot of love for old Celtic tunes
Yeah.
and real true folk, like old folk songwriters.
Yes.
Um, yeah. Also, I'm
We've
seeing one
had
of
we've had all of Celtic Woman, all of Celtic Thunder, all those guys on. Sir James
my
Galway was on the show. Phil Coulter was on the show.
I was
All
seeing some of that. I was perusing some of your I was pretty excited
past
by it.
You were checking out the archives.
I
Yay, we love
was, I
that.
was. I think that's so cool. But yeah, I that's a huge part of it. To me, those are the best storytellers and
Absolutely, yes. Derek says, "Hey, Eric."
yeah, I was gonna say there's Derek. That's one of my students there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow,
Derek's killing it. He's getting so good at that guitar.
that's cool. That's fantastic. How many students do you have right now?
Mm, I don't know. I don't know. 20 maybe right now.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because do you teach in a group setting or is it individual one-on-one?
All one-on-one. We've done lots of
Wow,
group lessons in the past, but it's usually one-on-one.
one-on-one
And
is
then there's a
terrific.
team of other teachers who have their own students too. So I personally teach probably 20 students right now. She
Wow,
goes,
look at the cat strut. This is perfect. Look at
yeah, you're getting a whole time. There we go. Yeah.
all on Halloween Eve. Folks, did you really see that cat, or was it a figment of your imagination on Halloween Eve? Was that cat really there?
Yeah.
That's cool. So again, the teaching, if people now, is the teaching set up where you're in the room with them, or are you also doing it online now with the technology and the
Yeah.
online availabilities?
Both. So it's pretty 50-50 right now. So about half of my students I teach in my studio,
Yeah.
and the other half are online. So there's some students in different parts of Canada.
Could be
Throughout COVID, I've
worldwide,
had students.
USA, everywhere, right? Yeah.
Yeah, throughout COVID, I've had students in other countries in Europe. There was students even like in Australia and trying to figure out like time zones and when we can do the lesson to work for both of us. Um, it's been fun. So yeah, if anyone's interested, get at me for guitar lessons.
That's absolutely cool. That's really, really cool. So what are some of those blessings and joys in your life that continue to forge you forward, wanting to connect and create and inspire in the way that you do, Eric?
Hmm. Wow, great question. Um, like definitely again, just people and just being inspired by people. I think that's like the sharing of love in this life. I think is the is the constant. Sorry. I I see more love songs in my future. I see that happening probably in the next little bit. Uh, I yeah, I would say uh, it's funny you asked that because I feel like there's different chapters of themes like where a theme keeps coming up, and I very much feel like this album There's another cat.
It's coming. It's another one. Look at that.
Another cat.
They know they're on now. They know they're on TV.
Yeah. Well, this album kind of in some ways made me feel like we're good as far as certain themes. Like it was a great album to kind of lock down those themes of authenticity and identity and finding strength of self. I feel like that was a lot of what I've written about, and I feel like now I'm sure I'll cycle back to it, but I feel very ready for the next chapter and just being inspired for the next message that I think I really need to dwell on and what I need to grow from. And I think that that piece has now been done, and I'm grateful for it. But I think it's going to be new themes coming forward.
That's fantastic. Beautifully said. But as you're saying that, the cat is like stealing the show with the twisting and the turning and the acrobatics that they're doing on that chair.
Insane. She's nuts. So this little kitty. So this is Carlisle, and she's probably going to be too excited by things to properly pay attention.
It's like, wait a minute, I see another cat on there. Who is that?
Yeah, she's like, I just have to be careful that she doesn't randomly hang up the call here, because she would do that.
Oh, actually walk on the keyboard and start pressing things and like, I'm hungry. He's done. I'm hungry, right?
Yeah. So she's not even close to a year old yet, and
oh wow,
and she's a psycho.
A psycho already?
Yeah, she's the one. So the other cat that you saw is just about 2 years old, and she's just so sweet, so laid back, so chill. This cat, every single thing is a toy or an enemy, and she's just.
Do they compete for your attention?
Not so much. They compete for things though. So pretty much the young cat steals everything from the older cat.
Oh yeah, wow.
He's a little brat. He's a little brat.
That is something, huh?
Yeah. Oh,
maybe there'll be a song about them one of these days. You never know, right? Lots of inspiration that's happening in that household.
Lots of chaos. That's right. Yeah.
That's it. That's what keeps it going and keeps it happy and filled with love. Somebody that pops in towards the latter part of the show, the legendary comedian, Mr. George Burns, is with us.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool? He pops in all the time, and he just wanted to say that you knocked it out of the park. He loved the music. He's a big super fan, and he's going to be wishing you nothing but continued joy and success in your life. And there he is with his cigar and his red pocket square. And, it's amazing because we're talking about some of the faith-based background. He played God in the Oh God movies too, which were a hit. So you still have God on your side, Eric.
Amazing.
Isn't it amazing? My aunt collected these real collectible dolls and got passed down to me through the family. So he makes his appearance at the latter part of the Jim Master Show live. And it's kind of cool, huh? People are surprised where all of a sudden he pops on like, wait a minute, is that a George Burns doll?
That's awesome.
That's cool. It's cool stuff. So you're the best. This was really great. You entertained us. We had a great conversation. And like I tell everybody, I don't call these interviews. I call these conversations, like the old school hosts and presenters, Johnny Carson and some of the legends. So playing off that and with a modern twist, modern vibe of today. And it was really fantastic. Colleen says, thank you for this interesting show, Jim and Eric, for the concert, and best of life to you. And Merlin, thanks, Eric, for joining us. Good luck on all your endeavors. Kathleen in New York City. Thank you, Eric, for being here and sharing your music. Great show. Jane in Sweden, all kinds of happy cat emojis and other emojis and cool stuff. And gang, you are watching the Jim Masters Show live series, and Eric Bolton is our special guest. There is the website, ericbolton.ca. And of course, gang, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure and let us know. Click the big thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It takes a village. That really helps us out as well. And share the episodes that you enjoy. And Eric, I hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you, my friend.
Yeah, this has been really lovely. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone for all these, for tuning in and for all these kind words. My goodness.
The pleasure is all mine and all ours. And we will keep that porch light on for you. Congratulations on the album and everything that you've done thus far and everything to come. We'll be looking out for you. And you are welcome back here anytime. Again, we'll keep the light on for you and spread the word about the Jim Masters show to others you think might like to pop on. We would love that as well, my friend.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Did you eat dinner yet?
I did.
Good, good. We always tell guests, especially those that are on the West Coast. You're here. I think you're are you Eastern time zone?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
so you are like
8:45 p.m.
us.
for me.
Right, exactly. But those on the West Coast, when we dive into the conversations, I usually try to tell them, you might want to eat first.
Yeah.
Be a little hungry after. Good stuff. And Leslie says, thank you for the great conversation and music. The pleasure is mine and Eric's as well. You take care. And of course, people have asked any connection to Michael Bolton, who, of course, a lot of people know. I know Michael personally. He's been a friend. I've worked with him on charitable projects through the Michael Bolton Charitable Foundation. He's a great guy. He's from the Northeast. He's actually from Connecticut. He's from the New Haven, Connecticut area, which is the same area that the Carpenters originally hail from as well. And but you never know. I don't know if there's a connection or not, or if you dig deeper, we're all related, right?
Maybe.
I think a couple of people had asked that. You're the best, my friend. You take care, and we'll chat with you again soon. Again, congratulations on the album. It's I'm sure going to be a real hit with a lot of people and rise in the charts. Good luck with that too.
Thank you so much. I
You're
appreciate
welcome. You take care. You have a great night.
it.
Okay.
You too. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Eric.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Eric Bolton here on the Jim Masters Show live series. Want to show you again the album so you can look for it. Really cool. It's Here Between, and it's out now. And again, you can get it at Amazon and iTunes and Spotify and all the usual places. Of course, his website, ericbolton.ca, which the CA stands for Canada. So don't type in .com or .net. Type in .ca. Really cool. Another exclusive here on the Jim Masters Show live, having Eric with us. Great music, terrific conversation, lots of laughs. That is a full circle Jim Masters Show live. We appreciate Eric joining us and performing for us as well. He's loving life. He's loving what he does. And he got a chance to share. There's another one, The Way. We didn't talk about this one, but you can definitely check this one out as well online. And again, he's really enjoying himself. We got a chance to see some of the family members too. The cats in the background. We showed the official music video for Hello Angels, which is cool. Talked about Grace's Green. He was in, sort of a funky spot in his life when he wrote this. Really fantastic material as well. Again, he is the lead singer, the front man for the popular rock group Shy Harry, based out of Canada. And you can check out their music as well. And again, this is what we do, gang. We have good conversations. We don't do interviews. We do conversations. I think you get a lot more out of conversations. I don't read from pre-prepared scripts. I don't, prepare all of these questions in advance. I don't, have a teleprompter. We just converse. We just go with the flow, and we bring all of you into, which I think is sort of the icing on the cake. Don't forget, if you love what we're doing here in our extensive series of shows, the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show series, you are welcome to support us. Easily done with a super chat, super emoji, or super sticker that you can do when the show is live and live chat, or anytime there is a heart icon on our YouTube channel under every episode. And if you click that heart icon, you can support our series as well, which helps us with this monster show that we call the Jim Master Show Live. We're here almost 7 days a week, if not 7 days a week. And we've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows in just about 2.5 years, which I cannot believe. Don't forget to hit that red button. We love when you do. When you hit that red button, subscribe, you're part of the Jim Master Show Lovity Squad, Lovity family. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And lets us know you're enjoying what we're doing here at the show. Once again, we thank Eric Bolton for joining us live from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. Singer-songwriter, lead singer of the rock group Shy Harry, and just an all-around great guy. New friend of our show. We will definitely have him back. You know, a lot of the guests love the conversations that we have, and they always ask, when can I come back on the Jim Masters Show? And we say anytime. And Voices of Classic Soul, if you didn't see them last night, Joe Coleman, Joe Blunt, and Theo Peoples, we had an epic conversation. Of course, you remember them from the Four Tops, the Temptations, the Drifters, the Platters, legendary groups. They're part of Voices of Classic Soul. They were with us last night. There was music, there was laughter, lots of conversation, and we absolutely loved it. Coming up, we're very excited tomorrow. We've got another fantastic guest. Paul Atreides is going to be with us. He's a prolific author, playwright, theater critic, and columnist. And he's got an incredible new book series out. And we're going to talk about that. And he's got a lot of surprises for us coming up on Monday for those watching live. On Tuesday, Joanne Spataro is going to be with us. She's an extraordinary author, writer, ghostwriter, writing teacher. And she's got this fabulous new Audible out, her memoir, Preconceptions. It's going to be really, really a cool conversation. We're looking forward to that as well, right here on the Jim Masters Show Live series. Spread the word. Tell your friends about our show, what we're doing here, all these great episodes, everything that we do. We love doing it for all of you. We're going to check out a couple more comments here, and then we're going to wrap up our evening. And even Eric, Eric is doing double duty. He is a viewer and a guest. Thank you, Jim. And all of you so much. Our pleasure. Eric, new fan of our show, and we're a fan of Eric's work. We love this. Good stuff. Christine Clifton is in the house, and she says, thanks, Jim and Eric, for a deep and enjoyable conversation. It was great. Eric could perform some live music for us. He's so talented and kind. Wish him well with his album. He's our newest lovity. Yes, he is. Absolutely. I second that emotion. Christine. Till next time, you all, from Colleen, absolutely. You need a ghostwriter? Check out our show on Tuesday. Joanne's going to be here. She's amazing. And she's got a really special, unique story to share with us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Have a great night, Jim. Good night, all of Kathleen in New York City. Thank you very much. So great to have you here. Jane says, so cute. Great show, Jim. Thank you very much. This has been a great show, Jim. Thanks, Eric, for being here. Interesting conversation. Great music. Fantastic. Unplugged on JMS Live tonight. Nice to meet a local boy as well. Such a great show. Thank you very much, Dana. Thanks for another great show. Kathleen, thank you. Kathleen just did a super sticker in the beautiful, brilliant blue color supporting the Jim Masters Show Live series. She did that right now in the live chat. Thank you very much, Kathleen. You're always so great at doing that, helping support all of the hard work and the expense that goes into the series. It does cost a lot, actually, to put this show together. There's a lot of things involving the streaming and just everything. It costs quite a bit, but totally worth it. And hey, every little bit helps like that, Kathleen. That will take care of, I think, maybe, well, no, it wouldn't cover that bulb because that's about $16, that LED bulb right there. So it might not cover that, but that will be put into the kitty and we can use it towards that. Thanks, Kathleen. You're the best. Ms. Pat in Texas says, lovely meeting you, Eric. Beautiful songs. Thank you for being here as well, Ms. Pat in Texas. And again, Leslie Hendrickson here. Thank you for your comment. And everybody, new viewers, far and wide, we love having you here. And you are forgiven, Dana, but always a fan. We thank you. And don't forget, if you ever miss anything live, gang, we always archive everything on our YouTube channel so you can peruse at your leisure all the episodes. And do leave a comment for us. Give us a like and do subscribe, as we say often. Jane in Sweden says, good night, Eric, Jim, and everyone. You as well. Whatever time of day it is you're watching our show, we thank you for being with us. We really appreciate you being here. It means a great deal that you're here, that you watch, you enjoy, you celebrate, you share, and like, comment, subscribe, all that other, the mechanics of the show. But it really means a lot to be connected with you. As Eric Bolton said, he loves the connection. It means a lot for him to be connected through his music. Same thing with me as an on-air television, radio, multimedia personality and host and journalist and all the rest that I do. It means a lot to be connected with all of you. Got a busy, super busy day tomorrow. I'm on the radio with multiple radio shows. You've got another television shoot and a lot of work happening, and we love it all. I'm always in the studios doing my thing, and I love it, connecting with folks around the world. And here on the Jim Masters Show, we come here, we turn on the lights, sit in the host chair, bring you guys in, and we have a good time. Often imitated, never duplicated. That's the Jim Masters Show live, and we thank you guys for being here. Christine is here. Good night, Jim and everyone. Until next time, global levity is what it is. Bedtime for Colleen. Nighty night for Colleen Gaynor. And relax. Hey, gang, guess look what we got here. You know who loves when we have this? Maureen. We used to show this a lot in the early episodes of our show series 2.5 years ago. Look what we've got. Relax. Yes. You guys remember this? I used to show this. Relax. We got this when we were on a family vacation in Newport, Rhode Island, USA. You can even see the old beach scene. Looks like it goes back to like the 1920s or 1930s. Relax. Don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to love one another and yourself and take care of one another. And everybody's welcome and invited to join us here at the Jim Masters Show Live, a place to have a good time. Lots of levity and good entertainment, great poignant conversations, deep chats, and you can come and relax with us. You know, no matter how crazy the world gets, you can come and relax. So there is the famous relax. We used to show this at the beginning, well, at the end of our shows in the early years, and with all the cast characters and everything, we'd have to start bringing some of that back. Very pretty, cool. Relax all. And you remember, yeah, the earlier episodes. Ms. Pat in Texas. Have a great night, Jim. God bless you as well. Ms. Pat in Texas, USA. All right, gang. We don't say goodbye around here. We say ciao and cheers. Shalom, slancha, sayonara, hasta la vista, moi loop. Take care. Be well. And we will see you on the next one, okay? Check out Eric's music. We appreciate him being with us and sharing all this time with us. And we appreciate you being here as well on the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll catch you on the next one. We'll be here for you in just a matter of hours with another live, fresh, new episode. But don't forget, you can binge watch all the episodes on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And if you missed anything on this episode, you can see it again on our YouTube channel. You know, if you joined us late when the show is live, don't worry. You can see the whole thing in its entirety right here for you, archived in our JMS archives at Jim Masters TV. You guys be well. Fun night, huh? Fun day, fun night, fun morning. Canadian Levity Night. Yes, absolutely. Levity around the world, starting right here at Levity Hall for all of you. All right, we'll chat again soon, gang. Be well. We'll talk soon right here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Be well and take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon. Cheers.